Here's the deal. We all have experienced rejection at some point in our lives, and to be honest, they hurt so bad. So today, we are going to look on the idea of rejection and how to deal with it properly. Rejection can be defined as the act of pushing someone or something away. One may experience rejection from one's family of origin, a friend, or a romantic partner, and the resulting emotions can often be painful. Rejection might be experienced on a large scale or in small ways in everyday life. There are four types of rejection: the unspoken rejection, the flat out no rejection, the nicely worded no rejection, and lastly, the no with suggestions for improvement. So, why do we experience rejection? Well, some people are just afraid to make commitments or decisions that they feel will hurt them or make them uncomfortable. There are also other cases because of bad timing. When your timing is off, they do not have a choice but to reject you instead. It can even also be because they just don't like you, and that's perfectly okay. Not everyone will like you, and you won't certainly click socially with everyone else. There are tons of rationale behind all of this painful rejection. And you know what? It's okay, because we all felt the sting of it. So, how does rejection affect our emotional wellness? First of all, rejection hurts our self esteem. When it is destroyed, we lose confidence as an individual, which can be shattering for personality development. When self respect dissolves, the need to belong is gone. Rejection affects our need to belong very badly. We all want to be a part of a group, and acceptance will boost our survival. But rejection hurts that area and we cease to live. We may choose to end ourselves as well. Rejection can also affect our wellness by causing inability to receive love. When someone who is significant in our lives has rejected us, it makes us feel unworthy. It establishes a root belief that if we are unworthy, we are unlovable. Therefore, we are unable to receive love. Withdrawal could also be because of rejection. Because we feel vulnerable in the presence of others, we feel there is a safety in isolation. Our natural tendency, therefore, is to withdraw from the mainstream of society. Some emotional risk of rejection also includes an increase in negative emotions like anger, anxiety, depression, jealousy, and sadness. Now, what about our other dimensions of wellness? Scientific researches have proved that brain identifies rejection equivalent to a physical pain, which means the way our brain reacts to a physical injury, ailment, or illness, the same reaction it gives to a rejection. MRI studies have shown that neurologically, brain reacts in a very similar manner to rejection as it does for physical pain, hence rejection hurts so much. Behavioral ramifications also include negative effects on sleep quality and immune system function. It also increases aggression and makes you more likely to cheat, procrastinate, and choose less healthy behaviors. Spiritual risk of rejection also includes mislead to beliefs. Rejection will result in you being double-minded. Double-minded is in a way that you have two minds and you have trouble making up your mind. You are like a wave of the sea, thrown here and there by every wind that comes. This means you are easily controlled by circumstances and feelings, and you are afraid to take a wrong or not perfect choice. It can also cause a separation from God, yourself, and others. If you have experienced rejection, you may soon also feel that God has rejected you and pull away from God, or you are constantly afraid that He will reject you. That's exactly what condemnation is. Condemnation is a fear of rejection. When you believe in the lie of rejection, you can easily reject yourself as well. Rejection makes you pull away from other people. The devil wants you to experience and be rejected, for it is the main thing that will separate you from love, both from God and from others, and also be able to accept and love yourself. Lastly, refusal could also risk your intellectual wellness by temporarily lowering your IQ level, reducing your performance on difficult intellectual tasks, and can also contribute to aggression and poor impulse control. These risks become the barriers of overcoming rejection. Some of the barriers are also from fear, suspicion, withdrawal, self-rejection, and many more. Fear takes the courage of a person, and without courage, people tend to keep themselves in a dark place without getting the acceptance they needed. Some people are also held back from suspicion and withdrawal. When rejected, people are not sure of others, and because of that, the inability to trust others are likely to increase. That makes it harder to deal with rejection. Lastly, Self-rejection could totally destroy the personality of a person when experienced with refusal and makes it tougher for them to accept themselves. So, how do we handle this pain? There are a lot of ways to cope with rejection with these following strategies. So, how do we handle this pain? First of all, we have to acknowledge our emotions. Rather than suppress, ignore, or deny the pain, you should acknowledge your emotions. Admit when you're embarrassed, sad, disappointed, or discouraged. Have confidence in your ability to deal with uncomfortable emotions head on, which is essential to coping with discomfort in a healthy manner. Whether you've been stood up by a date or turned down for a promotion, rejection stings. Trying to minimize the pain by convincing yourself or someone else it was no big deal will only prolong your pain. The best way to deal with uncomfortable emotions is to face them head on. Second thing is to view rejection as evidence that you're pushing the limits. One should know that rejection serves as proof that you're living life to the fullest. You are expected to be rejected sometimes, and you are not afraid to go for it, even when you suspect it may be a long shot. If you never get rejected, you may be living too far inside your comfort zone. You can't be sure you're pushing yourself to your limits until you get turned down every now and then. When you get rejected for a project, passed up for a job, or turned down by a friend, you'll know you're putting yourself out there. At least you tried. Another thing is that you have to treat yourself with compassion. Rather than think you're so stupid for thinking you could do that, you should treat yourselves with compassion. Respond to negative self-talk with a kinder, more affirming message. Whether you get dumped by your long-term love or blindsided by a recent firing, beating yourself up will only keep you down. Speak to yourself like a trusted friend. Drown out your harsh inner critic by repeating helpful mantras that will keep you mentally strong. You should refuse to let rejection define you. You should not make sweeping generalizations when you're rejected. If one company turns you down for a job, don't declare yourselves incompetent. Or if you get rejected by a single love interest, don't conclude you're unlovable. You should keep rejection in proper perspective. One person's opinion or one single incident should never define who you are. Don't let your self-worth depend upon other people's opinions of you. Just because someone else thinks something about you doesn't mean it's true. Lastly, you should learn from being rejected. When rejected, you should ask yourself, what did I gain from this? So that you can learn from rejection. Rather than simply tolerate the pain, you turn it into an opportunity for self-growth. With each rejection, you grow stronger and become better. Whether you learn about areas in your life that needs improvement, or you simply recognize that being turned down isn't awful as you imagined, rejection can be a good teacher. Use rejection as an opportunity to move forward with more wisdom. Before we end this video, here are some key determinants of why some people might get rejected. It may be because of employment, gender, culture, social network support, education, and so on. But remember, whether you've experienced all the pain of refusal, do not let it get the best of you. The way you choose to respond to rejection could determine the entire course of your future. It is not always your fault, so do not be hard on yourself. Accept.